how does it feel to have bounced back with a couple of wins this weekend?
I think it's huge for us to be able to respond after last weekend. Obviously, a couple tough losses. Yeah, they're good teams, but we did not defend like we're capable. We gave up 78 points per game, which you can't win games like that. You can't. And specifically this year, that's what we've been focusing on, our defense. So to have those two games, it was a disappointment, but really proud of the way we responded this weekend and bounced back in conference play.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is these are the first two conference games. So how important was it to get off to a good start and, sort of get yourself where you want to be right off the bat?
I think it is huge coming into conference play to be able to win our first two games. Those are two good teams. I think they'll do well in the league. They are gifted. They're gifted offensively, and we were able to hold both of them down offensively. So I was proud of our defense, and just to even gain that confidence for us in conference, starting 2-0, and now heading into some more tough non-conference play.
What did you like in how Kendall dealt with the weekend as a whole?
I thought Kendall specifically, I think our whole team responded well, but Kendall specifically last weekend was probably one of her rougher weekends. She just broke her nose. She's wearing the mask for the first time and the first time she played live in a game with the mask. So she hadn't even practiced with that thing on. So I think that affected her more than she probably thought it would, or it just meshes with your vision a little bit and even your mindset, I'm sure. But I think she has adjusted to that, got a nice double-double as per usual for her. And I think she set the tone in both games. At the start, she went to the glass really hard, got offensive rebounds. She was out working people, and that set the tone for our whole team for the weekend.
She also had a ton of defensive rebounds, and that's huge, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to really emphasize defense.
Yeah, defense, rebounds. I think that's a toughness thing. I think we're undefeated when we win the rebounding battle, and that's a huge thing. That's a toughness thing. That's a heart thing. And she did lead us in that offense. Great to see her get the Defensive Player of the Week in the GLIAC, well deserved. And yeah, it does. It starts with getting those stops, and you don't get a stop until you finish it with a rebound.
What do you like in where Ella's game is getting to right now?
Ella just keeps taking steps. We needed her to take a huge step defensively from last year to this year, and she's continued to do that throughout the offseason, now into games, continuing to get better. And then offensively, super gifted. We can go to her if we need a basket. Not only that, people have to give her zero space. So we can put her in places and setting screens and doing things that open up other people as well because she's such a gifted scorer. So she creates for others even when she's not getting assists and things like that. But she's another player we can go to if we need a basket, her jumper off of a ball screen, off of a handoff. It's just really hard to guard.
What do you like in her consistency right now?
She gets in the gym all the time. Ella is in there shooting every single day, so she has the consistency, I think, with her shots, and that's from three, that's from mid-range, she can get to the rim, but also she has that confidence because she's earned it.
Soraya has another big night on Thursday, leading the team in scoring. For a point guard, that's pretty cool on its own, but the fact that she's doing it the way she is, given that she'd lost the 2 years and everything, what do you like in how quickly she's, getting out there and making things happen?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Soraya to sit out for 2 years and then come out and play, 8 minutes a game. I think she's averaging, and lead our team in scoring at times and in assists at times. I think as a good point guard, you need to look to score first, or you're not going to be able to create for others. And she's done a good job of that. She doesn't want to be a score first point guard, so I have to tell her, hey, you have to look to score, or you're not going to be able to get other people open. And she's starting to do that. And when she's hitting her shot, when she's going to the basket looking for shot first, now she can drop it off to the post. Now she can hit our shooters. And 8 assists both games, that's awesome, and could have had more, So she's a great passer, and she needs to stay aggressive looking to score in order to continue to be a great passer.
What do you like in the way the depth of this group is starting to really show?
I think we do have a ton of depth. I think we have 9 players we can go to. Even if you look back at the 2 games, we had some players play 20 minutes one game and then not at all the next game, and vice versa. And some of that's matchups and who we thought would be better. But it was great to see both those players, specifically Maya and Caitlin, step up in their games, in their roles. They both did a phenomenal job and were huge reasons why we won both of those games. Even though, they're not going to show up, in the news or the player of the week or whatever, but they both played their role so well and did a phenomenal job in helping us secure those wins.
What do you like in Caitlin's game?
Caitlin's another one that can really score it. She can shoot the ball, so you can't really leave her. If you do, we got Ella attacking, Kendall attacking, Soraya attacking, and she can catch and shoot on any of those kickouts. She's a really smart player. When we're trying to do some things defensively, sometimes we guard different actions differently. She picks up on those things really quickly, so it's nice to know I can trust to put her in late game or any game because she's going to know what we're doing. And she's actually already been in situations multiple times where she's had to have game-winning, game-tying free throws. And I'm not scared to put her in those moments. Maybe she hasn't played all game, and it comes down to, okay, they're going to be fouling us, which is what happened at Parkside. They're going to be fouling us. Okay, let's get her in and hit a big free throw there.
Looking towards this weekend, only one matchup. What do you know about Missouri St. Louis and what they do?
UMSL's a really good team. They're 6-1 right now. They play tonight, but they're a dang good team, and they've been beating teams by 20. They have young players that are really good. They have a couple freshmen. One of them is one of our players' sisters, actually. Bella Hanna is playing her sister Lexi Hanna, number 4, and she's starting for them as a freshman, can really shoot it. They have an unreal post player, a junior, that finishes everything around the rim. Everything. So we have got to limit those post touches. That's going to be so huge. But then they have some guards that can shoot it and get to the rim. So really we're going to have to lock down again defensively, focus on that side of the floor, and let that lead to our offense.
Coach, how much growth have you seen in kind of your sophomore class, if you will? Because you think back to last year where they had to take on a big role as freshmen and play minutes due to injuries and things like that. And now in their sophomore season, they've really kind of grown into it.
Yeah, you're right. Our sophomores are having a great start so far. Last year, they were thrown into some roles. Early in the year, they were starting. We had 3 freshmen starting multiple games, which is a tough place to be in, but they handled it well last year. Freshman year is always kind of highs and lows. I feel like this year they've settled in. They know what we're doing offensively. They've all grown defensively, which is the biggest thing. And I think each of them just play with such confidence and play really well together. They have great chemistry with each other and with the other players on the team, and that really shows, I think, on the floor when we're playing. I think all of our sophomores, Chloe, Ella, and Kendall, have all taken steps on both sides of the ball, and I think we still have a lot to see from each of them yet, too.
And then maybe for those freshmen that you have now to kind of see that progression of this is how good you can really become in a year if you put in the work. What is kind of the message to those younger players and even looking up to your upperclassmen who are leading by example?
Yeah, that's so true. For our freshmen to be able to see, okay, these guys were freshmen last year, and now look at them. Ella, her minutes were really sporadic last year. She didn't play some games or just a couple minutes, and now she's starting and our leading scorer. For any of our freshmen to be able to look at that, maybe this year isn't the year you get a ton of minutes. Maybe you can get those minutes by the end of the year, or it's next year, but it's continuing to get better. It's continuing to put in the time. And that's where it's great. We have those examples of Ella, Chloe, Kendall, and all of our upperclassmen that put in the time. And it pays off when you put in the time. You get your shots up, you do your ball handling.
When you speak on conference, you play 2, and then you have like this little break, and then you really start the full season. How big are those first 2 wins in conference to not have to go through the break not playing conference games and have to look at the standings?
Yeah, it's weird kind of how we do break that up with the conference. Just one weekend, and then we're off for a little bit. But it is huge, I think, to be able to get those first 2 wins and kind of know where we're at right now in the conference and knowing who we got next, Grand Valley. Super exciting, super motivating, I think, for our girls. But it's really just taking it one day at a time, all preseason, after our wins, after our losses. Same thing I'm saying to our team. We got to get better. We got to take one more step. win or lose. It can't change who we are, win or lose. We have to focus on ourselves, what we can control, and that's taking one step today in practice.